I mean, what is there to do? Today, I don't freaking know. I don't know. I don't know. Happy birthday to Thurman Thomas. That's something in the news. Happy birthday out to him. All the rest are just crap. I mean, we don't really care about them. Unless you want to talk about the wedding of Moises Alou. Well, that's something I don't want to talk about because I wasn't there and I don't really give a rat's ass about a wedding. Unless it's mine or family members or someone. I don't care. Unless those two guys or or a girl and a guy are going to bang and they're going to make a really superstar athlete. And I don't care. If it's Tom Brady and, we'll just say Tom Brady and Candace Parker or some female athlete that's like really good in a sport and they mate and it's just like that's the next NFL great or NBA great or WNBA great or I don't know. I'm not even gonna bear that question. But Thurman Thomas, maybe that's something that we can talk about. I'm pretty sure he doesn't want us to talk about the four. And you all know the four falls of Buffalo. The 1, 2, 3, 4 Super Bowl appearances, but no Super Bowls. Buffalo doesn't want us to talk about it. Okay. Moving on to the next thing. NHL, you got something? Well, I mean, we got 3-0 and 2-1. San Jose won 5-4 tonight. Boston trying to sweep a team that just swept someone, and look at that. I mean, we could, since 1993, it's talked about a few shows ago. Since 1993, the Carolina Hurricanes swept someone that swept someone else before, and it could happen 2 times in the same year. That's a rarity, but it could happen tonight. Don't want to jinx it. Hey, just come out and play, Carolina. You haven't played yet. You have just been demoralized by Boston. That's all. That's all in the NHL really that I care about. Dallas Stars are out. Vegas Knights are out. Bruins sweeping, and there's just nothing else to talk about. But MLB, you got something? I mean, you're in the middle of your season, but nothing big. Elvis Andrus goes on the DL, 10-day DL. That's not news. I mean, who the bleep cares about that? The Rangers are not even remotely close to anything right now. And Elvis Andrus goes on the DL. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, hey, Rangers, you're, let's see, pretty far down there. Yeah, 18 and 22. Yeah, you can Elvis Andrus, you can take some time so we can just tank and get a better draft pick because you're just trash. You're just not gonna make it. I'm sorry. You're 9 games back of Houston, who's just going to be on a roll. They're winning. My Stros are winning, and that's all I care about. You're definitely not going to catch Seattle. LA's a little hot. They're 20 and 23. LA, since LeBron, hey, we talked about last show. LeBron didn't get Zion. He didn't get Anthony Davis. Who's he going to get in free agency? That's something we could talk about. Oh, wait. I talked about it a few shows ago. I mean, I've talked about all this crap that's coming on. John Beilein, Cleveland Cavaliers head coach. I'm just the same way as Stephen A. Smith. Who the frick cares? I mean, what? Excuse me? No, I'm done. NFL, you got something to talk about? No, we've talked about all of that as well on the Wake and Bake show. Kyler Murray, pretty good. College football? I mean, what's there to talk about in college football that we haven't already discussed? I mean, unless you want to just make predictions on different teams and who's going to do this and who's going to do that. I'm hyped for a college football season. I was watching some college football from last year, yesterday, and I was like, what? We're still 3 months away from this, or maybe 4 months, 3 months from really NFL, but we're a long time away from saying anything about football. So calm your horses because we got a long NBA season or MLB season and then an NBA playoffs. And then we got the summer league as well. So hang in there tight, people, for people that don't like the MLB, don't like the NBA, and they're waiting for the NFL. Just hang tight because we're going to get into that. Hopefully. And, I'm changing gears here. Football is not a spring sport. The American Football Alliance tried to make it a spring sport, but it's not. It's in the Brit of cold winter, snow on the ground, people face turn purple and blue and red because they're cold as heck, and they're toughing it out for football. And I mean, hey, you know, Green Bay, get a roof. I mean, I know that your fans are tough, but that bitch is cold. Good grief. I mean, what? Excuse me? No, we're not going to get a roof on our stadium. Yeah, please do. Please get a roof on that sucker. Then I'll come see your games in the middle of frickin' January. We'll see. We'll see how the new coach out there, I already forgot his name. We'll see how Aaron Rodgers faces with that. We'll see what State Farm does. You know, whatever. We'll see all the commercials. We'll see all this. Right now, Golden State Warriors looking like they could just completely sweep. So are the Bucks. So it's going to be Golden State Bucks matchup. So fans, keep an eye out on that because I just probably jinxed it. And that's a better matchup. I would rather see Portland and Toronto. And you're saying you would rather, or I'm saying I'd rather see two of the worst teams in the NBA play each other in the finals, or at least playoff teams in the finals. Yes, because it's something new. It's something new. We don't have to sit here and just say, hey, Golden State, oh, they raised another banner. Oh, yeah, I don't want to sit here and say that. That's why I'm dead hard just trying to get the Rockets to win. And then when they fell, and then the Portland Trailblazers, they're falling right now, and I'm like, holy crap, the last hope is either Kawhi Leonard or Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Kevin Durant's coming back. DeMarcus Cousins could come back. Those Warriors are going to look strong, and they're going to come right at the Bucks. And the Bucks, even though you played well so far, I mean, what do you have to offer except for a 7-foot guy that's, unstoppable, really? He's just unstoppable. But they have a guy on the other side that's 7 foot and he's unstoppable as well, in Kevin Durant. But maybe he's slowed down a little bit because he's got an injury. But, one person that has not stepped down, Steph Curry, he's been hot. Set him on fire and he just goes. So game 2, Portland and Golden State. I mean, do we want to talk about the parents of the Curry brothers, sitting up on the stage, mom wearing a Portland Trailblazers uniform and dad wearing a Golden State. So we know who their favorites are. But that's about it. Rough day. I was looking for something. MLB standings. We can talk about that for a little bit. Tampa Bay is still on top. So is New York. New York right behind them. Boston finally got over 500. Behind my back, they were rolling there. Toronto and Baltimore are still absolutely dead last. Minnesota up on top of the Cleveland Indians by 4.5. And Chicago, Detroit, and Kansas City, we all don't care about those teams. Houston up on Seattle, 7.5. And Seattle really I give the most props to. They've fallen apart, but they're the closest. LA 20-23, Texas 18-22, 19-25 for Oakland. I thought Oakland was going to be second place. But no, Oakland has failed to make the money ball work. And that's a good movie. I watched that today because I just felt like it. Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill and Chris Pratt, whatever. I can't speak right now. What National League? Philly up on top. Atlanta are kind of right behind them. 2.5 back. New York surprisingly 3.5 back. Washington, I thought, with a decent starting pitching and Juan Soto and a few other key guys in there, they would be much better than this. But 17-25, and then we got the Marlins. We're still waiting on Marlins to just actually make some noise. Chicago on top. Right behind them is Milwaukee and 1.5. Then St. Louis, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati. Pittsburgh was on that huge winning streak, but right now they were 6-4. They were 7-3. But hey, the Central is the only good division I see here. Well, you got the American League East. I'm sorry for everyone up in the Northeast. Winning comes easily to y'all. So, in the West, LA. That's a good, spread. West, are all kind of a little bunched up right there. Most of them are all 20-game winners. Colorado finally coming out of the rust. They were 5-5. LA still killing 7-3. But what can we find here on the ESPN app? Nothing. Lopez, big fourth quarter, rescues Bucks in game 1. Okay. He did have a big quarter. I'm not gonna lie, but we're not Sports Center here where we can just see my face and then just go over to a game clip and we can just talk about that. We can do a Kenny Smith and circle the freaking guys on the floor and be like, press play. And then they shoot forward and it's just like, watch the guy pass over here. And this is not detailed by Kobe Bryant where he's picking apart Draymond Green's game. This is not any of that. This is a podcast where you don't see my face, thank God. And you just listen to me talk about all this crap, and I don't really have the capabilities of showing you. I just have my voice. But, hey, Grizzlies, sources say they picked John Morant. Zion Williamson, he could go to the Pelicans. R.J. Barrett, New York Knicks. We'll see what happens in a few months. But do I really care? Zion, John Morant, maybe Culver, and R.J. Barrett, and then rest I could give a rat's ass where they go. They're most likely going to be role players or starters that are just on crappy teams. I'm talking to you, Phoenix Suns. But, it's a fair game. It's free-fall. It was a free-for-all for Zion Williamson. New Orleans, for some reason, got it. I'll talk about this for a little bit because we're at 14 minutes here. I can bring this up to 20 for y'all. Just talking about how screwed up sometimes the draft lottery is. It's a lottery for a reason. There's a small chance, even though you have probably the best chance. Like if you buy 500 tickets, you have a better odds than having one ticket. And if you buy 2 million tickets, then you have better odds than who would, in their right mind, with a $2 million lottery or $2 billion lottery, buy $2 million worth of tickets. I don't freaking know. You're a dumbass. You double your worth, but you just whatever. If you want to go out with a bang, go out with a bang. But 14% for the top 3 teams. That was the Knicks. That was the Knicks. I'm losing my mind. Knicks, Hawks, I think, and Suns. It was one of those 3 teams. I freaking forgot those teams. I'm so stupid and I'm so sorry. I'm taking my time to look at this up. No, it was Cleveland. And the Phoenix Suns. And, tables turned. And man, you can't really say much. Knicks get the third pick, Grizzlies get the second, Pelicans had a 6% odds, and they got the first pick. It's kind of like the Cleveland Cavaliers a few years ago. No one can stop David Griffin. But I think the NBA felt bad for the Pelicans. Through all these years of Anthony Davis making the playoffs and then not making the playoffs, and then they're getting these super low picks of 14, 15 range because they barely missed the playoffs, and then they might make the playoffs and they get those 20, 22 picks, and they're not getting any better because no one wants to come to New Orleans. No one wants to wear those brown or red, and they don't want to wear the Pelicans. I would rather be, if I was a free agent and the Pelicans offer me an offer, and we'll just say the Bucks offer me an offer. Those are two. I'm not really a fan of either of those names, but I'd shoot the Bucks. For goodness sakes, those jerseys are, to me, horrendous. They're green, they're clean, but those, the green ones are okay, but everything else is just not okay with me on the Milwaukee side of things. But I would much rather go to the Bucks instead of going to the freaking Pelicans. I would do mostly anything. Not to go to the Pelicans if I'm Zion Williamson. There was a few memes of this, pretty large guy. I'm not gonna use the F word on this, but he was missing shots, and they said this is Zion trying to at the NBA Combine trying not to get to the Pelicans to draft him. That's pretty funny. Because it's true. If I was Zion, I'd be. And as I said yesterday, why would the Pelicans not go after Boston or LA and be like, "Hey, we'll give you Anthony Davis if you give us the fourth pick." So then you can pick R.J. Barrett and Zion Williamson, or if that doesn't go anywhere, you pick Kim Reddish or you pick Culver. You got two really good guys there, and then you got a second round as well. And then, or you can pick up Gordon Hayward. I'm going to need to go through the logistics, and I will. If Steven's not going to join me tomorrow, I'll talk about this tomorrow. I will look at the logistics. Gordon Hayward and Jaylen Brown for Anthony Davis, and then you give 3 picks away. Boom. That's huge. You cut salary space. You give them 2 great players. They get 3 draft picks. They get Zion. They get other assets there. And then they get 2 great shooting guards. They got Drew Holiday. I would put on paper that's a pretty good team. If I'm a GM and I'm David Griffin and I'm Alvin Gentry and I'm the Pelicans and I'm everyone in New Orleans, I say, let me go get season tickets, because that's a team that's going to be looking exciting. If Gordon Hayward's healthy, he can coach them. Jaylen Brown, he has playoff experience. Jaylen Brown is a pretty good player. He just needs his time to grow. And then if you don't get Jaylen Brown, you get Jason Tatum instead. And hey, Jason Tatum, Zion Williamson, Gordon Hayward, and Drew Holiday, and whoever you pick up in the free agency or you pick up a center, that guy out of Georgia that the SB Nation picked to play the center position. You got a stacked lineup right there. A stacked lineup that can probably make the 8 seed or a 7 seed, or unless they blow the whole league up and they make a 5 seed or a 4 seed. That's a pretty good team. They're not making a 1 seed over the dead body of the Warriors or the Rockets. They're not making it over the Portland Trailblazers or the LA Lakers or the Clippers. But that's a pretty good team. That's something that we would look at it. We would say, hey, the Pelicans are looking nice this year. Look at them. Sit here and say, yeah, I think I did a pretty good job. Then you look over at Boston, they got Kyrie and Anthony Davis and Al Horford, and we'll say Jason Tatum's still there because I would rather give up Jaylen Brown than Jason Tatum. That's a stacked team right there. That's a stacked team as well, and Boston's going to be better because they got a whole bunch of young guys. Al Horford's a great veteran, but he's not a leader. So to say, he's kind of a quiet, mellow guy, but he's a great player on the court. Kyrie is not really a leader. Anthony Davis, you got three really good guys and then a growing guy, and you got a bench. Boston, I mean, we're looking at Boston and the Golden State Warriors or the Houston Rockets in the championship next year. Both those trades work out. Boston's now, Pelicans in the future. Both trades work out for either team. And Zion, if I was Zion and I saw that trade go through, I'd be like, hell yeah, let me put on this ugly red jersey and play for New Orleans every night. You know, it's funny. I don't really see too many Pelicans jerseys around, unless it's that kind of like that neon green and yellow and blue, the NOLA. It's a black uniform, yeah. Those are nice, but every other uniform, not great. You don't see very many of the Davis uniforms nowadays, but it's something. It's something. NBA draft lottery, you gave choices to the Boston Celtics, LA Lakers, and the New Orleans Pelicans. Or the Knicks could be in the conversation for some of this. But who knows? We will all talk about this when those trades happen. When those trades happen, I will break them down, good or bad. But that's for later on. We will get into free agency as well. It's going to be a big summer. Stay tuned. But nothing, and really in the news today, because everyone follow me on Twitter so you can give me questions so I can like talk about something. I will do Twitter days. I will do Tuesday and Thursday Twitter days. Sitting here talking about your questions. Because, I mean, the internet only gives me so much. And being on a podcast gives me only so much. Because I can't review and analyze every single game for 30 minutes. I mean, I can, but it's not the way people would want. It's just my voice here. So listen. But it's alright. We got to 23 minutes on a slow day. And, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Have a good morning, all y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. We'll see what Steven's doing. And enjoy.